Welcome to part 2. In this part we are going to create material for this using Blender and Substance Painter. Let's dive in. In order to make the material, we need to unwrap this model. So before that, I'm going to select all by pressing A and Shift D to make a copy. Escape and M, new collection, I'll call this backup. And turn this off just in case. And then select the core / to make this isolated. I'm going to turn off the subdivision surface, right click, shade flat, and I'm going to apply the mirror. Then let's tab into edit mode and press 2 for the edge mode and go to select sharp edges, and by the number of 30, I think we got a pretty good result. So let's right click and mark seam. Next, we are going to check our seam. So I'm going to add some seams by selecting these edges and mark seam. Also here, select this one, hold control and click, and then mark seam. Also here. Also this one. And here we go. Before we continue, I'm going to test this to see the checker and see our result. So in the material properties, we need to add a new one, and under the base color, select this and select image texture, new, and put this on UV grid. And I'm going to set the size on 4K and then hit OK. And then we need to select all and you unwrap the model. And then we need to go for material preview. So this is the result. I think it's okay. I'm going to check the rest of the seams. So for example, here we have this one, which is okay. And then we need to select this, right click and mark seam. And also we can select these edges, click here and hold control, click here, right click and mark seam, like so. And also for this upper part, I'm going to select these two and make a seam here. And here we have already the seams, and maybe this one and mark seam. And then this two. And here we have an extra seam, so select this, hold Alt and select to make a loop, and right click, clear this seam, which we don't need to, and this one, right click and clear the seam. Also these two, and clear the seam. So also here we have these two loops, which we don't need to add as a seam. So also we need to add these vertical edges. So this one, and also these two. Let's go closer. We can go to wireframe and select these. Oops. These two. And make a seam. And then let's go for this part. Select this one. Like this one. And this one. Let's go closer. we have these two little edges, and also here we have these two, and make a seam, and also here the last one. I think this is the last one. So all right, here we go. Let's do the unwrap again. So like all U and unwrap, and I think it's okay. So let's go for the back part here. So I'm selecting this loop and right click, mark seam. All right, then let's select this one and right click, mark seam. This one, mark seam, by pressing Shift R. And let's see, also this one. And this one, right click, mark seam. So now I'm going to add the vertical edges. So this one, and let's go to wireframe, and this one. Also, these, hold Shift and Control, and this one, right click and mark seam. All right, next let's go here, like this one, go to wireframe. So again, let's select all U and unwrap and see the result. All right, also on this part, I forgot to make the seam, so it's an easy one. Like these three edges and mark as a seam. And the only part is this bigger part of the core. So I think we can go from here and also here. Let's check this closer. Yeah, we have another little edge here. So let's make a seam here and see how does it work. Let's go for the UV editing menu and see the maps here. So I think we need to add another seam up here. I think it's going to work better for us. So it's like this one, and go all the way up till here. Hold Control and click and mark a seam. Also for this one, select this little one and go down here. Hold Control, click and mark seam. And let's see the results. Like all U and unwrap. So also we can go here and turn on the stretch to see the result better. And here we also have a problem. So to solve this, we can go for, so we can select this one, and up here we can select this UV sync selection and hold your mouse over this island and press L to see where is your island, which is here. And let's select this one, and I believe there is an edge which is not marked as a seam. So let's select this one, right click, mark seam. Also this one, mark seam. And then again, select all U and unwrap. We have another one. So press L and let's go to wireframe. And this is here. So press period on your numpad and press Shift H to hide the rest. And let's see. Here is the edge, which is not selected as a seam. So here we go. And then press Alt H to unhide the rest. Again, select all U and unwrap. while I'm here, I'm pressing Control and space to make this panel extended. We can straighten these islands, but I'm gonna leave this for now. But I'm gonna show you how you can do this. So for example, for this one, press 3 to select these face, and then you can select one faces and go to edge mode, select one of these edges, right click, and you can press align auto, or you can align from X or Y axis. So select this one, also auto align, this one align auto, and this one align auto, and then select this and Control L to select the rest of the faces, and then right click and follow active quads. So by this you can make this kind of straighten. I believe we can do this better. So let's do this again. For example, from this one, select these edge and auto align this one again and again, and then select this, Control L, right click, and follow active quads. And now it is perfectly aligned. So in this way, you can straighten your islands. But I'm gonna leave this like so because times, and but you can do this if you want to. Next, I'm going to select this part, press / to isolate and tab into edit mode. And like before, go to select and select sharp edges, right click and mark seam. And then let's check if there's any problem. So we don't need to mark these as seams. So like these two, and also here, hold shift to select your edges and clear this seam. Down here, I'm going to add a seam here. Oops, mark seam. And again, this one. Also here, mark seam, and these edges. All right, let's go to the back side. Add these two, and this one, and this one, mark seam. Also maybe here. Let's go to the upper part. Select these as seam, and here as well. Here we go. So I'm going to select all. Also U and unwrap. Also turn off the subdivision surface. Let's go back, pressing / I select this one and the core, Control L, link material. So again, select this one and go to isolate mode and check if there's any problem, which I believe there's no problem, I think. And let's go back and let's apply the mirror modifier. Don't forget to save. And now let's go for the turret. Select the turret. Also, I'm going to select the core, or maybe select all and select the core and Control L and link material. So we don't need to do this again and again. So select this one, go to isolate mode, go to solid view, and I'm going to apply the solidify, turn off the subdivision, and tab into edit mode. Go to select and select sharp edges, right click and mark seam. And also I'm going to add more seams, like from here and maybe here, right click, mark seam. Also from here, let's deselect here. And also we don't need to add a seam to this flat face. So right click, mark seam, and also we can add another one, like so, and we can continue this to all the model and mark seam, and let's see how does it work. And I think it's okay. So let's go back to object mode and apply your mirror modifier. So let's go back and then let's select these two and go to isolate mode by pressing / and tab into edit mode. Let's turn off the subdivision surface for both and go to select sharp edges and mark seam like so, and then check your seams if there's any problem. So I'm going to add seams like this and mark seam. So for this one, let's hold Alt and click to make a loop selection and deselect this one, this flat one. Also, we can deselect these flat faces, but I'm gonna leave this and mark edges and select all U and unwrap and material preview. And I think it's okay. So let's go back to object mode and then apply your mirror. Let's go back from your isolate mode and select this one, / to isolate it, go to edit mode and then select this one, go to isolate mode and turn off the subdivision, tab into edit mode, select all, go to solid view, select and select sharp edges, right click in mark seam, and let's see, and select these two and also this one as seam, and let's check also this one and this one, mark as seam, and we can select these loops, and also we can deselect these flat faces. So this one and down here, right click and mark seam, and then select all U and unwrap and see in material preview. So also this one we can deselect, we can select and clear the seam, and again select all U and unwrap and see in material preview. Let's apply the mirror and go back from the isolate mode. Also these handles, edit mode, and select the sharp edges, and I think we can select these manually. Mark seam also inside of this handle, and also we can deselect these flat faces also from this one in mark seam, and select all U and unwrap and check in the material preview. Let's turn off the subdivision surface and in the object mode apply the mirror. Let's go back and select these handle too, go to isolate mode, go to edit mode, and let's turn off the subdivision surface, select these two like before. And here we go. And then in object mode, apply the mirror. Let's go back. So we have these spheres And let's go back and select these two. Select this one. Go to isolate mode and let's turn off the subdivision. And we have to mirror. So go into the edit mode and let's go to side view. Select the sharp edges. Right click and mark seam. But we can deselect these parts. Like these and clear seam. Like so. And also we can add seam here and here. Mark seam. And also these two. And let's turn around and maybe this one. And also we need to add some vertical edges. Let's deselect these. And these from flat faces. And also from here. And from here as well. I'm holding control to deselect the edges. And also from here. And right click and mark seam. Now select all U and unwrap and see in material preview. And then in the object mode, we can apply these mirrors. Let's go back, and these wires need to convert to mesh. Convert to mesh. Shift R and Shift R, and select these. Go to isolate mode and go to edit mode and select these loops. Also here and here, and mark seam. Select all U and unwrap and see the result. All right, let's go back. And what else? This one, these three objects. So edit modes and mark seam. Let's select all U and unwrap. All right, let's go back, and I think this is the last one. Go to isolate mode and go to edit mode, and let's select the sharp edges and mark seam. Actually, we need to add seams here and here. Like so. I'm going to do something else. So I'm going to delete these faces and then go to orthographic view, Shift D, R, and 30, hit enter, and then Shift R to do this again. So now we have all of this with the correct seams. I'm going to select all and Control J, make this as one object, like so. And let's check the unwrap, select all U and unwrap, and it's okay. Let's go back and apply the mirror. And I think we just unwrapped all the objects. Also this one, we forgot. So select this, and it doesn't have any thickness. So I'm going to add a thickness for this one. Go for the solidify, and I'm going for the default values. I'm going to apply this like so, and then let's add the seams for this one like before. Select all, U, and unwrap, and see the result, and it's pretty good. Let's go back, and I think everything is unwrapped. Now let's go to UV editing, and let's select all the objects and go to edit mode, select all, and hit U and do the unwrap. So now, as you can see, we have some big islands, which is for this part, and some smaller island for the core and for the turret, which is not what we want, because this core is an important part and we need to have a bigger island for this one. And these screws kind of objects are not important, so we need to rescale these islands and make them smaller. So make this smaller like this, and again go back, select all, go to edit mode, and let's go to UV and pack the islands, and like so. And also we can decrease the size of these shapes which are not important. Also these spherical objects, and let's see if there's any not important shapes. And also I believe we can decrease these again. Then go to edit mode, select all, and average island scale, and then scale them down. See, scale them down like so. And then let's go back to object mode, select all, go to edit mode again, select all, and then go to UV and select pack island like so. And again, I'm going to select the important part. I'm going to increase the size of these two parts, select all, and scale this up like so. And then maybe this one too. Go to edit mode, select this, and scale it up a little like so. And maybe a little for these objects. Go to edit mode, select all, and a little bigger. So go back, select them all, edit mode, select them all again, and UV and make island. Also, instead of using this method, I'm going to use add-on called UV Packer, which is a free add-on, and I'm going to turn off the rescale, and I'm going to use the pack. Now I think we have a better result. Also, another thing which we can do is straightening some of these islands. For example, this one, I'm going to select this and align auto, and also align auto from here, and again and again, and select this face, Control L to select the rest, and right click and follow active quads. And like so, you can just straighten the island, which is from here. And like so, we can straighten all these islands, which you can do this, but I'm not doing this for this tutorial. Well, I forgot to wrap this part. So go to edit mode and select this, right click and mark seam, select all, U, and unwrap. Go back, turn off the subdivision surface and apply the mirror. Let's go back and go to UV editing, like both, U and unwrap, then scale it down, which is not important. All right, go back from isolate mode and select all U and select all and pack again. Also, I'm not happy with this part, which doesn't have any bevel. So I'm going to add a bevel modifier for this and decreasing the amount like so, and maybe 2 segments. And I'm going to harden the normal and changing the geometry to arc like so, and applying the bevel and select all and right click, clear the seams. And then I'm going to go to select and select sharp edges like before, and right click, mark seam, and select all, U, and unwrap like so. Also, we need to select these two faces, which is a end gun, and right click, triangulate face. To see if there's any other end guns, you can go to select all by trait and faces by sides, and you can put this on greater than 4, which is these, and you can right click and triangulate them as well. And then again, go here and check which there is no faces. So we need to delete this one. And again, go back and add a mirror modifier and put this as the target object and from the y-axis, and then apply like this. And then again, we can go to UV editing like this one. Go to edit mode. We can decrease the scale like this. The next thing I'm going to fix is this core section. I think we can change the seam from here to here. I think it's better. So I'm going to select this edge and then like this one and mark seam. Also here. Also, let's select these and clear the seam. And for the other side from the bottom. And then if you select all and unwrap, almost the same result, but I think here is a better location for our seam. Let's go back and again select all, and then press A to select all, and then go to UV packer and select the pack to pack your UVs. The next thing I'm going to do is applying the subdivision surface. It's better you apply your subdivision surface before unwrapping, but in this case, I'm going to apply these after UV editing, after the unwrap, and it seems it doesn't cause any problem. And the only object that caused problem is this turret. If I apply this, as you can see here, we have a stretch in the UV. To fix this, we can just go to edit mode and add a edge loop right here. Like so. We can turn this on for each object. All right, next thing I'm going to do is again, I'm going to make a copy from this and add this to another collection. I call this backup 2. Like all object convert into mesh, which applies all the modifiers. And also before that, I'm going to apply the subdivision surface for this one too. And link the modifiers. And then again, let's convert this to mesh. And I'm going to bake this high poly model. If it was a game ready model, you was need to create a low poly and a high poly model and bake your low poly from your high poly. But in this case, as this is not a game ready model, I'm going to bake this high poly model in Substance Painter. Before we jump into the Substance Painter, I'm going to do some material ID. So select the core and create a new one, call this core. We can also put a color for this, like so, and just hide this one. And let's select the turret and call this turret. And we can add a color for this one too. And let's hide this. And this one, maybe turret holder 1 and a color. And this one, we can call this turret holder 2 and hide. Also this one, turret holder 3, so creative naming. So also this one, we can call this core inside and a color, and we can call this connection maybe, and this one, which is side part, and these are handles, and let's link the material and hide. Also, this is the wire. Let's link the material and hide. And this is the glass. And the color for this. And the rest, I don't know, maybe miscellaneous. And color and link material and hide and shift H to unhide the rest. And here we go. So now we can go for the Substance Painter and we can select all, go to File, Export, and FBX. Click your location, selected object, and hit Export. Now in the Substance Painter, go to File, New, and select your FBX and hit OK. Now here is your robot. And then go to Edit, Bake Mesh Maps, and I'm gonna put this on 4K. Use low poly mesh as high poly model, and I'm going to add the anti-aliasing to 4x4 and bake textures. So the baking is done. Well, we are going to start with not so important part like this handle, wire, the miscellaneous layers, and then we are going to take care about this core, side, and the turret, which is the most important part of our model. Head into the asset panel and search for the latex in the smart material, and drag this and drop on the wire. like this. And next we're going to take care about this handle. So search for iron forged old and drop this into the handles like so. We are using the default substance materials, smart materials, and for some parts we are going to adjust a little these materials for these parts. So like this. Also, I'm going to use this for this miscellaneous section. Next, for the turret holder. For this one, I'm going to search for a steel, and I'm using this default steel for this. But I'm going to use a darker color. So open this folder and select the base. Right click here and go down under the base color. Select this and select a darker color. Also, I'm going to do the same for this black part. So steel and a darker value like so. All right. Also for this part, I'm going to use the same thing, but I can go for the fill layer and select a darker value like this and add a black mask, right click and add a generator and select the generator here and select the metal edgeware like so. And I'm going to increase the level like this. Also, I'm going to go for the steel base and decrease the white value and make it darker like this. Next, for this core inside, I'm going to search for plastic armor mats, which is this one. I'm going to drop this into this section and wait for this, right? Like so. And also for this spherical connection, I'm using the same material like this, but actually for this core inside, which is this part, I'm going to add a fill layer above this. Same thing that we did before. Add a black mask, right click, add the generator, right click here, add a metal edger like this. I'm going to decrease the level like this. All right. And I'm going to change the color. So select this sphere here, right click here and changing the base color or something like this. All right. Now let's jump in for the turret. I'm going to search for iron forged old and drop this into our turret. All right, like this. And I'm going to do some hotspots on this battle, top part of the battle, and it's going to be a little tricky, but let's try this. So I'm going to go from the upper side. As you know, you can change your view from up here from orthographic or perspective, and you can press F, focus on your model. So orthographic or perspective. And if you hold Alt and drag from here, and if you hold Shift, you can snap through the top view. I'm going to go for orthographic. So I'm going to snap through here. So next I'm going to add a fill layer like this, and then right click here, changing this color to some bluish color like this. And I'm going to put this under a group, so Ctrl G here and add a black mask. All right. Then I'm going to add a paint to this mask. And if you paint over here, you can see we have this, which is painting the layer, mask layer, nothing special. I'm going to do this like so. And I'm going to right click here and decreasing the flow like this. And I'm going to do the paint like this. I'm going to do the feather kind of thing to this. And if you press X on your keyboard, you're going to invert your color, which is for this one, which is black. And you can, I think it is black. Let's see. Yeah, it is black. If you hold Alt and click on your mask, you can see your mask. And if you click on your layer, you can see your actual layer. So I'm going to go with the mask. If you hold Control and right click and drag from left to right, you can increase your size of the brush, and up and down you can change your feather. So I'm going to increase this. All right, and I'm going to select this layer, and let's see, we have a color metal, we don't need this, and normal height. And we have emission. How you can add your emission? You can go through your texture set setting, and under the channel, you can add the emission here. If you don't have the emission, click on this plus button and select the emissive. So then you have the emission map. So we need this emission, and we don't. Let's add the metal too. And what if we increase this metal? Maybe that's better. All right. And I'm going to add emission to this. I'm going to go for something bluish like this. Or let's turn this off for now. I'm going to turn this off. And I'm going to add another layer, fill layer, and put this above all. And I'm going to select a reddish color and something like this. And I'm going to do the same thing. A group, a black mask, and I'm going to paint over this. Like so. And I'm going to turn off the normal height, and that's it. And I'm going to refine this. So select the mask, X, and turn down the flow. And also select your layer and metallic for this part. And let's see if we go for the roughness. Okay, like this. And for the blue part, maybe something like this. I don't know how much we achieved to make this believable and realistic. I think there should be a lot of work for this, and I'm just trying to feel like this, and yeah, I think we can do this better. We can use the emission, but let's leave this for now, and also for this red part. And we can go to the blender, and if we need to add this, we can turn this on and just try that. What if we add some reddish color inside this barrel? So let's go here and try to add this inside. Or we can change this color. I think this is too red. Maybe we can go from something between purple and red, something like this. Let's go for the core and the side part. So for the core, I'm going to do some masking because each part has a different material. So I'm going to add a fill layer and Ctrl G for a group and adding a black mask. Also, I'm going to change this to something that we can see. So select the mask and select this polygon fill and put this on UV. Let's first turn off the glass, which we don't want to change anything for the glass in the Substance Painter, and we'll take care of this in the Blender. So I'm going to turn this off. All right, now I'm going to select the mask, the UV, and polygon fill. So I'm going to select this and this. This is the camera, the eye for the robot. So I call this eye. All right. I'm going to change this to something bluish, like so. Next, I'm going to select these parts. So make a new fill layer, put this above, and Ctrl G for the group and add a black mask. I'm going to call this inside or inner eye, inner parts eye. I'm not so creative at naming this whole thing. So select this, same thing we did before. So selecting these sections. Oh, okay, we need to change this color, something different. Select the mask and just select these parts. All right, we are done here. Let's go for the other part, another fill layer. I'm going to change this color to, for example, green, and Ctrl G for group and add a black mask. And then I'm going to select this part and like this. And I'm going to call this our frame. Next thing is this upper part. So another fill layer. Ctrl G, call this upper frame, which is this frame around the circular things. So add a black mask. Change this color to something like orange and select the mask, and again select this part. Next, I'm going to do another fill layer. Ctrl G, I'm going to call this upper inside frame. All right, and add a black mask and select this again. Maybe we can change this inside part too. So Ctrl G, upper inside center, and changing the color and add the black mask and select this part too. Let's change the color to something different. This. All right. And then also we can go here, and for this part we can go for this upper frame, select this mask, and I'm going to select this part for this same material, and upper inside center for this part, same material, and upper inside frame, which can be this one. Now for this bigger part, we can go for the another fill layer, and I'm gonna call this main core, add a mask for this. I'm gonna change the color like so, and selecting this part and this part and this part and this part. All right, and maybe from here for sure, and this and this. Let's select these two. All right, and I think we are done here. We separated every part, so now we can add material to each part. And we need to do the same thing for the side panel here. I'm going to this texture set list, and I'm going to select the side. Same thing that we did before add a fill layer, Ctrl G for group, and call this side. I'm going to do another fill layer, and I'm gonna call this inner side. All right, inner side, and add the black mask. And I'm going to change the color to like this one, something different, and selecting the mask. And let's go and select this inner part, and I can change the color for this one to recognizable. And also I'm going to add another mask for this inner part. So hold Alt and click on the side to make this isolated. Also, we need to uh, define mask for other side too. You can turn on the symmetry and use that. We will use this in the core section. Just a moment. All right, and add another bit layer. Ctrl G and call this inside side panel. Awesome. So add a black mask and select these. Let's do the symmetry. So let's turn on the symmetry, and let's see if I select this one or this one. Yeah. And select these. And change the color to see if we did it right. So, all right. It's pretty cool. And let's turn on every layer. So select this and show all. And now we can start creating our textures. Now for this bigger part of the core, I'm going to select the core. I'm going to search for plastic stained, glossy stained, and put this here. Also, you can delete this color ID layer. All right. And I'm going to change the color to something different. So open this folder, select the base and right click, select this color, and I'm going to select this color code, which is 6B7051, which is this green color. And I will leave this for now, and we will come back to this section later on. So let's go down here for this eyes part. And for this one, I'm going to use the emission. So go to your texture set setting and add the emissive. All right, and just turn off the glass, put the color, and we only need the emission. So hold Alt and click on the emission and put the color to something like this. If you want to see the emission here, go to your display setting and turn on the post effect, and you can turn on the glare. Also go here under the shader setting and you can change the intensity of your emissive like so. And so this is the emissive in the emission layer. I can turn off this for now, and let's continue to this red part. For this section, I'm going to use the plastic armor mat. So let's search for plastic armor mat and put this. Actually, we need to put this into this layer. All right. And we can delete this color ID. We can add another layer, another fill layer, black mask, and add a generator. And right click here and add a fiberglass to this one. Something like this. And we can change the parameters like so. And we can change this layer base color to something darker like this. And also we can add a paint layer and select the paint, turn off the symmetry, and just deleting this part. I think this is too much, so I'm going to delete this. You can change the color to whatever you want. And like this. For the outer section, which is this part, this one, I'm going to use plastic armor glassy. So put this right here and deleting this green ID color. And I'm going to add another fill layer up here, and let's put this above this group. And I'm going to add a black mask and right click, add generator, right click here, add a metal edgewear. Like so. I'm going to turn the level down to something like this and turn down the contrast. And also select this layer, and I'm going to change the color to something darker like this. Let's go up here for this orange part, which is upper frame. I'm going to use the copper worn and put this right here. Delete this one and go here. I'm going to change the color to something darker. Also for the this part, which is this one, I'm going to search for iron forged old, and I'm going to put this right here. I'm deleting this one, and I'm going to change some setting. I'm going to, let's see, this is too much, I think. Select this mask, metal edge, and decreasing this metal edge wear actually. And for this inner side, I'm going to use the same thing that we did before. I'm going to delete this, right? And changing this mask, which is only here, I'm going to, sorry, this one. So I'm going to select this part as well. So select the mask and select this polygon fill and selecting this part as well. Right, let's go here too for this inner part. Let's select these. So let's go back to our core, which is here, main core, and I'm going to use some imperfections for the surface. I'm going to use this map for the roughness and this one for the normals. So to do this, let's drag this into your asset panel and call this texture. And you can choose for this current session for your project and for your Substance Painter library. So I'm going to use these for project, and I'm hitting import. So I'm going to use a fill layer, and here I'm going to only select the roughness. I'm going to drag this into our roughness panel like this, but I think we need to invert this. So I'm selecting this and adding a filter, right click and search for invert and hit this. So as you can see, here is our roughness like this. And also I can change this intensity with different method. For now, I'm going to put this on the roughness, and I'm going to change the level of this roughness down, something like this. All right. And next thing, I'm going to use these normal. So put this here and put this on texture, and for the project, hit import, and this is our normal. So add another fill layer and right click here, and I'll only use the normal and drag this into our normal. And this is another imperfection for this texture, but this is pretty much. And let's put this on the normal as well, and I'm gonna put this on 10 and the blending mode on soft light. We're gonna put this on 30 maybe, because I want this to be a little. And we will test this into the blender. If it's not enough, we can change this in Substance Painter and export in the blender, so nothing to worry about. All right, I'm going to use the same material for the side panel, so we can save this material and use this for the side panel. To do so, we can right click here. Keep in mind that it should be a group, so right click here and create smart material. The name of the material is the name of the group, so main core, here is the main core under the smart material. So I'm going to go for the side, so select the side, this part, and go into the group and drag this and put it right here. It also handled this mask, so I'm going to turn off the mask and I'm going to delete this one, which that mask is from the core side, which we don't want that. And as you can see, we have the roughness and the imperfection of the normal. Really cool. And for this red part, I'm going to choose this one. I'm going to use that Iron Forge old. So we can put this right here. And also we can use the same thing for this inner part. Let's delete this one and let's solo this part by holding Alt and click on this eye. And I'm going to turn on this symmetry and let's select the mask, polygon fill, and let's select, drag and select this. And I think this is too much and we can change some part. Okay, let's select this one. So go into this material, edge and layer, mask layer, and select this metal edger and turn this down. And also let's check out the dirt. I think the dirt is pretty much. So we can select this and turn this down and select the base, right click and change the color to something darker like this. All right, let's turn on everything. So now I'm going to use decals for these this part. I'm going to use this collection, which is a free collection from Sanctions. And this is an amazing collection, but we are going to use a few of them. But you can use whatever you want. It's an amazing collection. You can use this in your project. And also, I forgot to tell you that imperfection maps was from this site, noodle.com. And here you can find a lot of free textures. And also, for sure, I will put the link in the description. And let's jump into our project. So I'm going to use this actually numbers. I'm going to put this here. And I'm going to set this on texture and for this project. And this is number 6 and also number 0. Here it is. And for the core, actually let's select the core. All right, I'm going to add a paint layer and let's turn off the symmetry and right click here, go down, and for the base color I'm going to drag this and drop in the base color. And you can just turn off and delete this alpha like so. And as you click here, you can paint right over your texture. So I'm going to hold Control, right click and drag from left to right to increase the size. And let's try out. Actually, I'm going to decrease the size and put this right here. And I think it's a little out of angle, so I'm going to hold Control and left click and drag to rotate your brush. You have the hold Control by right click. You can manipulate anything as you want, and the quick way, hold Control and drag your left click to change your angle. So I'm going to add a number 0 here and right click again and drag your sex into your base color, and I'm going to hold Control and left click to change the angle, and put a 6 right here. I think it's out of proportion, and maybe something like that. I'm not happy with the 0. So again, I'm going to add this 0 here, and let's try again. And you can go for the base color up here and change the blending mode, something like, I don't know, maybe soft light, or you can change the blending mode to whatever you want. And I think the soft light is okay for this case. And also we can use other kind of decals. For example, down here we can use an arrow. So I'm gonna delete this base color. Just for this one, I'm going to add another paint layer and go back here, right click and go up for the alpha, which is here, and we can use this arrow and make it smaller and put an arrow right here. We can change the blending mode for example, multiply like this, and maybe another sign here. I'm going to turn on the symmetry. All right. And I'm going to choose another decals. For example, something like this. And add another one right here. I'm going to use this for another paint layer. Decrease the size. And put one here. Like this. And also I'm going to add another arrow down here from this layer. So back again to this arrow and put another one here. Nothing too fancy, nothing special, just adding decals. Definitely you can be more creative than me and use more and better usage of this decals. Next, I'm going to use some alphas. So I'm going to put this into a group, and let's add another paint layer, and I'm going to go for the textures, and let's search for vents, and let's select, for example, this one. Right click here and go down and put this on normal and drag this into your normal and go here. You should delete your alpha, so delete this. And if you click, as you can see here, you have your normal. So increase the size and drag and rotate your brush. I'm going to turn on the symmetry and click here, which is also here too. And also I'm going to use some here. We can change this. We can turn off the symmetry and we can put one here. And drag and hold Control and drag your left mouse button and put another one. Let's turn on the symmetry and let's put another one right here, like this. And you can use bunch of different alphas and you can import your alpha here. I'm going to go for this inner section. So let's go for the inner part of eye. So go here, add another paint layer, and this time I'm going to use a bevel alpha, an alpha called bevel. So this one, bevel line, right click, go down and drag this into your normal like this. And I'm going to change some setting into our symmetry, so I'm going to use radial symmetry with 16 count and with 360 angles. So if I click, as you can see, it's a radial symmetry, and you can put this axis into the center of your model like this. And I'm going to change the angle, hold Control and drag from your left click and increasing the size with your right click, and put this line here, and increasing the size even more, and put one here. And I want to make a mask inside this part, so go up here and add a black mask and go for polygon selection and select here like this, and go back to your paint layer. I'm gonna add another one, so decreasing the size, and add another one here. So let's change the angle. Something like this. Now I'm gonna add more details into this main core. So go to this folder, and before that, let's put this on the soft light, and nothing changes. Let's turn down the opacity like this, and I'm going to add another fill layer. I'm going to put this into a group and add a black mask, and right click here, add a generator, and right click here, add a metal edger. And I'm going to increase this level like this, and increasing the contrast, and you can change these parameters. This is pretty much, but I'm going to delete in this inside parts. So on your mask, right click and add a paint layer, and select the paint, and you can draw here, but I'm going to press X on my keyboard, increasing the size, and draw here. But also I'm going to use an alpha, some grunge kind of alpha, for example this one, and let's delete this part. Like this, and I'm going to change this color to something closer to this one, but lighter, like this. And also I'm going to hold color, roughness, and the height. And for the height, I'm going to go down for negative 0.01, small amount, like this. And also I'm going to do another one, and I'm going to copy this group by pressing Ctrl D, and I'm going to change the color to something brighter, and go to metal edger and decreasing the level, and increasing the contrast. So we can go here and change the color as well. And also we can change the height to negative 0.02. Yes. Next thing I'm going to do is add a fill layer above all of the layers, and change the color to something dark, and put this under a group and add a black mask, add a generator and add a dirt. And we can increasing the contrast and decreasing the level like so. Also for this side panel, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add another layer into a group, add a black mask, add a generator, and add a metal edger, and changing the level. And change the color. Also, same thing with the core. I'm going to add another fill layer and put this on something dark for the base color, and put this under a group, the black mask, add the generator and add the dirt, and increasing the contrast and decreasing the level. Something like this. I think for the core we can increase the level of the dirt, so let's try out. Now I think it's better, or maybe decreasing the contrast like so, and turn on the emission. So let's put this above all of the layers. All right, like this. And here we go. All right, to export our textures, you need to go to File, Export Textures, and set your destination here, and select the folder, and select your format, which I'm using the Targa and 4K. And for the output template, you need to actually make a template, which is PBR metallic roughness, but you need to copy this. And we did this before in our previous tutorial, so I'm going to put this on Blender 02. And the only thing you need to change is changing this normal from DirectX to OpenGL. So drag this and put this right here and call this RGB channel. So that's it. So you can go here and select your template, which is Blender, and we did this before. And you have to select all of your textures and just hit export. All right, now it's done. So back in Blender, you need to go to Edit and Preferences, and under the add-on, you need to search for Node Wrangler and check this add-on. So, and next I'm going to add a camera, and Control Alt and 0 on your numpad to make this as a frame. Press N, and let's turn on this key input and go to View, and check this to select your angle, and go to camera and put this on focal length 200 millimeter. Put the angle to whatever you want. I'm putting something like this. And next I'm going to go for the shading and hit 0 to frame your camera, and then select this core. I'm gonna select this BSDF and hit Ctrl Shift and T, and go for your textures and select your core. Actually, this is core inside, and select your core and select these textures and just import them. And it takes time to load, and here is your material. And you need to do this for each part, so I'm doing this for each of the models. So here it is, our materials. As you can see, we have these scratches, imperfections, and all all the stuffs, and the only thing we are going to change is this glass, which is this one, and we need to go here and put the transmission to 1 and the roughness down something like 0.3, and we need to check this into our render. So next I'm going to add some lights, so add a area light right here and put this from this side. Also I'm going to copy this and put this from here, maybe here for a rim light, and I'm going to add another one. Oops, 50, and put this here, and let's rotate this like so, and I'm gonna put this above here and just see how does it work. So press 0 and also cycle for the render engine, and I'm going to put the 50 samples for the viewport and turn on the denoise, and after the 50th frame, and for the final render I'm going to use 300. I'm going to uncheck the denoise, and here I'm going to check denoising data, and under here I'm going to select the transparent. Also down here under the color management, I'm going to put this on medium high contrast. So don't forget to save and press Z and put this on render, and let's see how does it work. Well, here it is. I'm going to add a sky texture, so go to world and shift A and search for sky texture and put this here. Plug this to this background, and I'm going to decrease the elevation right down, and I'm going to rotate this and rotate this through here, and increasing the intensity and increasing the size like this maybe, and the intensity is pretty much, put this on 10. That's still too much. I will put this on 1, and sun elevation also 1, sun size 1, and let's change the size actually to 45, something like this. And let's select this light and little increasing. Let's go out of the camera, select this one inside the camera, and I'm going to increase the power, something like so. Also this one I'm going to 200, or even more for 500, and let's drag this to here. Maybe I'm going to put this from this angle and like this, right? Also let's select this one and put this on 100. Also we need to add another light, a point light, and put this to the eye like so, and let's see, we need to put the color to something blue, and I'm going to increase the intensity, and let's go inside and see how does it work. Let's see this from above. I need to put this inside this glass like this, and let's check the render again. All right. And I'm going to decrease the radius like this, and I'll put this on 50 maybe. And let's see. Let's increasing the radius and put this on 100. And let's change the sun elevation to 9. I'm going to change the color to something brighter. Also, I'm going to select this glass. Let's go to the object, and I'm going to increase the roughness to 0.5. And also I'm going to back to our sun, and let's see, we can rotate this even more. To this side. And I think I forgot to add the material for the wire. Yeah. So Ctrl Shift T and select the wire. I'm still not happy with this hot part of the barrel. So I want to back into the Substance Painter and do some changes. So go back here and let's go for the turret. And I'm going to select this blue part. I'm going to change this color to something orange. And also this red part. Let's try something different. Right. And also I'm going to add the emission for this. So right click, and actually we have to go to texture set setting and add the MSF. And down here we need to add a color for this. So I'm adding a color for this one. Or maybe we need to add color for the other side, for this one. And let's add something like this. Let's try out this texture, and let's export this, only the turret, and hit export back into the Blender. And let's delete all of this. And again, select this, Ctrl Shift T, and go for the turret. And let's hit to render again. So now let's just hit a test render. I'm going to render this out to see how gonna show me for the final render. I'm gonna set the resolution, which is 2K, and then hit F12 to start render. So here is our test render. The thing I'm going to change is I'm going to delete these scratches inside the side part, and also I'm going to add this height difference inside the side part too, and I'm going to add some edge wear, more edge wear into our frames. And maybe I'm going to decrease the roughness from this hot reddish part. So I'm going to change this inside the Substance Painter and back to Blender and test the render again. So here is the final render, and let's go for some post-processing. So let's go back to your Blender, and for compositing, and here use nodes and put this one right here, and Shift A and use the denoise node and put this here, image to image, normal to normal, and albedo to albedo, and Ctrl Shift and click into your node, and also you can connect that into your composite node and wait for the compositing. Here we go. And also you can change this to image editor and search for viewer node, and here you can see your final results after your compositing. I'm gonna turn off the backdrop because we can see this right here. All right, next I'm going to add glare, and let's put the image here. All right, I'm gonna change this to fog glow, and let's see the result. That's too much. I'm going to increase the threshold for 3. Still think we can decrease this. So let's go for 5. And what about 10? And I think we can change the size to 5 and change the threshold to 5. Okay, 6. Now that's better. Next, I'm going to use the RGB curve. Put this right here. I'm going to add a little contrast to this, or maybe if I can move this up to make the whole thing brighter. So this is kind of S shape, can be upper here, and I think I can put this one a little down here to make it a little darker. And this is the final result. That's it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you have any question, please ask in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.